Good evening, guys, and evening, good evening, and the meeting is called to order. Uh, John Howe's not here today, and Ryan is sitting there in his chair in his bed. George is not here. Both George and Ryan might give their Zoom remarks, so, later in the program. And speaking of the program, it's shorter than you even think, all right? Because,
Online, right?
yes,
Yeah.
he's online. The New Canaan Y presentation is going to be in May, not tonight. And the Carriage Barn yearly update is going to be at a different time. So really, our only new thing, I believe. Good evening, Dean. Our only new thing is going to be the garden club proposal, which is really important, because we have to get that done quickly. But first, before we do that, I'd like to take the roll call, like we start. Gene, this is perfect timing. Gene, can you start?
Gene Goodman,
Lindsay Heron, Francesca Segalis,
Hank Green.
Keith Ritchie, Doug Murphy.
Sue Leone, Melanie Hearn.
Tim
Jake
Pumple.
Granito.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Who?
Tim Pumple.
Thank you.
Great.
Jake Granito.
And Jake.
Jake, thank you all. Thank you also. The first thing I'd like to do is, would anyone want to move to approve the minutes?
I move to approve the minutes.
I want to object for a moment. I didn't get to go through them, and there is something missing from them about the lines to the New Canaan High School pickleball lines on the New Canaan High School tennis courts that is not in there. So either
I remember that discussion. What are you referring to specifically?
just that it's not in the minutes, and I want to reflect that it was discussed. So that, there's a record set that I've brought it up.
So, B, what's the best way to handle this?
I-
Give me some.
John, maybe you can shed some light on it. I would have thought you would vote and she could vote nay, she didn't vote them. I mean, I don't know.
I didn't exactly hear what you wanted to be in the minutes, Francesca.
Last meeting, I talked about or asked about if we could get lines on the New Canaan High School courts. And it wasn't reflected in the minutes.
No, but the process is that Beatrice sends the minutes around. You're supposed to review them. And if you have a problem with them,
You're right.
you're supposed to say, I have a problem with them, and either supply words or concepts.
Keith, this
And
was,
you didn't, at least I didn't see it.
this was a circumstance where I could not, because I haven't been able to see until today. And I was looking for it and found out, I tried to address it ahead of time. This is the closest I can do.
So you're saying,
So-
that in your condition, we should change because the normal process is you
Let me
have
hear
your
what
shot.
John has
And
to
if you don't
say.
have a certain discipline about reviewing the minutes, we're all got set the minutes. But if you don't have a certain discipline about reviewing those minutes, we'll never get the minutes done. Because you're saying we can't vote on the minutes
I
now.
would propose that the solution would be that in the minutes today reflects Francesca's concerns, and therefore it will finally be recorded in the minutes of this meeting. That's acceptable. to
Does
Francesca.
that sound okay, John?
That sounds fine. The other thing that we can do is we can talk about it tonight, because I have,
That's what he's saying.
instead of changing the minutes and making an adjustment to them from last month, would that be suitable for you?
If it's reflected in the minutes that I was hoping that it was in last month's and it wasn't, and so we're discussing it again tonight, that's fine.
Okay, well, I think I have an answer for you. So
Yes,
when we get to my report, we can go through that way if that works.
okay.
So, I'm not sure what we're supposed to move on at this point.
I
Well, if,
still move that we approve the minutes.
So,
Do I have a second?
we have a second. Thank you, Keith.
There's a second from Jake.
We have a second and from Doug and from Susan. That's a lot of seconds.
All in favor?
Okay, all, just, let the
Yeah.
record go. I think that everyone's in favor.
Except.
you
for-
just need Jake. You
Or-
need Jake to say something.
No, I can't vote. I wasn't there.
Right.
Okay, so that's perfect.
Losing.
So Francesca is the only one who's a nay.
So I think that's a nay. Okay, let's get on with the heart of the meeting. And Wendy Dewey,
Yes,
hi, welcome. Thank you for coming here tonight.
Thank you very
And
much.
please tell us about the proposal for the carriage barn sale.
So we're hoping to start a biannual event where we will pull all of the committees of the garden club together through conservation. We're going to be recycling old pots and stuff from around the house to make it tag sale-ish just in the garden area. Horticulture has already started growing all sorts of different things for the sale. We have flower arranging that's going to come in and put everything together, and then we're using the money for our civic fund. And I don't know, however, who knows what we take care of in town, but we do the Waiting Wall Garden. We also do the garden at the Historical Society. We do flowers on wheels, so we send little flower arrangements out with Meals on Wheels. We also go and do horticultural therapy and work with the patient citizens of Waveney. And so that, and also with Irwin has its own endowment, so this wouldn't be going toward that, but that is what the funds would be used for. And it would be just outside the carriage barn. And
When you say that, you mean within
the courtyard, the little
courtyard.
courtyard.
Okay.
And we have a little tent that we could put up for it, and it would be May 4th from 9 to 2. This is the flyer we hope to put around town. Anybody wants to see? And we would love to get permission to do this biannually, so that we could just have it on the books that it's something that we do.
Does
I don't know
anybody
if
have any questions?
I do, so I'm sure you've already talked to the people at the Society, Art Society.
At
The
the
people
carriage
that,
barn?
the people that inhabit
Yes.
the carriage barn.
Yes,
Okay, it just wasn't,
yes,
Maybe.
they have us on their books, so if we get permission from you, then we are all set to go.
Are there any other questions?
Wendy, what's the second date? Is it in September or when you said biannually?
So we were every other year,
Oh, okay. I
not
was thinking you meant like
biannually.
five. Okay.
Any other questions at all? I just think garden clubs is such great stuff.
Thank you.
And I think this sounds like a wonderful event.
Well, hope you'll all come if we're allowed to have it.
Well, so will someone move to allow?
But before, Hank, just a second. Just so you know, we've also, the Powerhouse doesn't have a show till 8 p.m., so it's not an issue with them. And after your approval, they'll be going to the Board of Selectmen, since they'll be selling in a town park. They need to get Board of Selectmen approval for this. So that will happen on Tuesday. And I'll help Wendy get through that without any problems if you guys approve.
That's great. Thank you, John. Does anybody move to approve the garden club's request?
I move to approve.
Thank you. Thanks so much. A second,
I'll second it.
and let's hope it's not a very close vote. Everybody vote? Are we unanimous? Yep. We are unanimous.
Unanimous.
Well, thank you. very much.
Congratulations, and thank you for coming in. And really, thank you for all the good work the garden club does. That's
Thank
wonderful.
you. You can take it if you either, I can't, yeah, I just have to take the bus. You want to put it back in the attic for me? Sure. That's where it goes. I'll be
Okay,
there.
folks.
Okay, do you want me to put it back? I can. Oh, I can. Thank you.
We are going to move
Thank you.
to the park and
Thank you
recreation.
so much.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. We're going to move to the park and recreation director report. And John, are you gonna be doing that?
I can, and if for some reason you can't hear me or anything, I'll have Ryan take over, but it's going to be a fairly quick report. Good news, summer camps are sold out. So we have a waiting list for all 3 sessions. We talked about needing camp counselors and other employees for the summer. We've had pretty good luck with people coming in, so we're doing very well filling most positions, so that's going well. it's that time of the year, racket sports like tennis and pickleball. Time to get your memberships so we can keep going. We started a new thing, woman adult pickup soccer. So they're gonna play, I believe it's 6 weeks, on a Sunday evening, starting in the next few weeks.
Where?
Our rec program for spring soccer has changed a little bit. We partnered up with Elite Sports, and so it's going to be more drill based, and it's going to foster development skills, et cetera. And with that, we've already had a lot more signups than we had at the end of signups last year. So we're doing well there. Men's softball, I shouldn't say men's softball, adult softball. We've added 2 teams this coming year, so we're happy with that registration. Let's see. We're going to partner again with the YMCA for swim lessons at the pool. We finished our budget process, and basically we made it through unscathed, so to speak. The town council's gone through it and approved it, so we're good to go there. And I met today with Jason, who was the Eagle Scout project for his cornhole boards. He is going to be sending his application hopefully by Monday or Tuesday. And then I'm going to let Ryan and Todd talk about parks stuff. And then if you have any questions, I'll be glad to answer them.
Ron, I have a question for John before you start. John, adult women's soccer. What is an adult woman? What's the minimum age?
In general, it's anybody really. I think we take somebody as young as 16, but regularly we're thinking 18 and older. The people that were mainly interested, I'd say, are in their mid-30s. The people that contacted us wanting to do this. We're taking registration. We're hoping we get enough people that it will be a viable program.
Thank you. Are there any other questions before Ryan starts?
Yeah, I had 2. One on the budget, you said it was approved. Where were the pickle courts that were proposed to be in Waveney near the paddle hut? How'd those come out?
That actually is not in our budget because we did not have time to, we were already through the Board of Selectmen at that point when we were even discussing it. And we still don't have good numbers, so to speak, for that project. We've talked to Keith Simpson, who was designing the picnic area next to the paddle courts and the additional paddle court about the project, but right now we just don't have good numbers for it. So that is not truly in the 5-year plan at this point in time.
Okay. The other question was, what's the latest on the start time or with the opening date for the tennis courts?
We're still shooting for having them do their service in April, and hopefully the weather will cooperate so that they can receive their bonus for having them open early. We'd like to open up in early May. A lot depends on the weather. We want them to service, and then we want to be able to roll for a couple weeks to firm up the surface before we put play on it.
Are there any other questions for John? We good? Ryan, we've delayed you long enough. Okay, please, the floor is yours.
No problem. So I just wanted to let you all know that the Board of Selectmen approved the equipment and the surfacing for the fitness area. So the equipment itself takes about 10 to 12 weeks for lead time. So we're looking at a June to July install. And then as far as the Parks Department goes, we just painted all the fields. As you can see, this parking lot was filled today, so the fields are jam-packed, and the weekends, we'll see all those cars back in the parking lot. But that's why we're here, and we love it. So that's really all I have on my end.
Nicely done.
Great. Any questions for Ryan? Hey, thank you, as always. Okay,
Just one note on the pickleball courts, there's the damage coming up on the court, so we're working with Hendon to get that repaired.
Is it on one of the courts?
It's on the one court right now. Yes.
Just court number 2?
Court number 2, yes.
Oh, so Hidden did those courts?
Yeah, so we're working with them to get them out now. The weather's finally holding, hopefully, to get that going, so.
And next we have the Park and Recreation Director's report. The chairperson's report, excuse me, chairperson's report. is, George, are you on?
He is not.
He is not, okay. So I have nothing to say. And, I'm sorry we kept you here so long tonight. And,
Um,
Need to have more of a discussion about the pickleball courts to reflect in this,
Right.
in tonight.
Yes,
in
Yeah,
terms of the
right.
damage or,
No,
Yes.
about the line from the high school, so that we
Oh,
make sure that it's reflected
In the minutes.
accurately. I just
Yeah.
wanted to, before we wrap it up. Yeah.
so John, you said you could add to that?
yes, right now, Hinding is, the guy from Hinding Tennis is gonna be coming down beginning of next week. Their first comments with tape is the fact that do not put tape down unless you plan on pulling it up after you play. So even though we talked about painter's tape and everything, they don't want anything left there. And so that's one of the reasons why we don't want to use tape.
Okay, so are you saying that if we put tape down and pull it up after, it's okay?
If you put it down to play a game and pulled it up, that would be okay, but you can't, it's not like you want to leave it there for a week.
No,
And the other problem is this time of year, we definitely can't put anything out there because it's the high school tennis season.
you said that we had to wait till the high school was closed at the meeting last month. So that's fine.
Right, but if you were, what would have to happen is if you were to go out there to play pickleball, you need to put down the tape. And then when you leave, you need to pull the tape back up. They don't recommend putting tape on the courts and leaving it there.
When I spoke to Tom, he said it was fine, but I will go your way and let people know that as long as they pull it up after they play, it's okay after the school has closed. Is that correct?
Yeah, we definitely can't do anything this time of year because high school sports have started.
Okay, all right, thank you.
okay, good.
That's as good as it can be, I guess. In the summer, we won't be able to put the tape down at all for like a whole day.
Yeah, you can put it down for the day, but that's it. That's the problem. It can't go down. You can't put it down and say, okay, it's going to be there for a week, a month, that type of thing.
All right, thanks.
Thank you, John, again. Anybody else have any other comments or? Was somebody, does anybody want to move to end this meeting? Okay, no one. I'll move. Oh, you'll, does anybody second it? Gene, thank you so much. Do we have a vote?
Aye.
Is it anonymous? Tim?
Yes, Tim.
Yeah, Jane.
and-
Wait, Hank, wait just a sec. Ryan, Betty Lavostik raised her hand.
Okay.
Okay.
Can't see anything.
Betty, we can't see you, but please, is there anything, let us know what you want to talk
Ye-
about.
Yes, hi, good evening. Thank you very much, to recognize me here in Zoom land. I wanted to thank John Howe. I reached out to him earlier last month because the Kiwanis beach passes were not on the website, and yes, they are. Months ago, Keith Ritchie reached out to me concerning any kind of input I had on Kiwanis, and I think my response was about 3-4 pages long or more. And I just wanted to follow up on that briefly. We had an ongoing issue, and it may have been an issue at the pool with the paper passes. Our observation was when somebody came with a paper pass, the hand scanners didn't always record it. And if they had it on their phone, depending on how the scanner was with the phone, people went in and it wasn't scanned correctly. Are we going back to those regular plastic cards? And if not, what steps are going to be taken to ensure that when people come in, that they are in fact recorded? That was one issue. And on the website, I didn't see guest passes, the amount recorded. I don't know if it's on the pool website. I didn't look there, but I didn't see it on the beach website. So can that be updated? And on the passes, last year, and I believe 2 years ago, senior passes for New Canaan residents and out-of-town residents were free. And would that be the case this year? So, and
Okay.
so those are my questions. And last year and the year before, and I think since COVID, we have had an ongoing issue at pickup time from about 3:45 to about 4:15, where the pickup for the campers, they wait in the back house where the Buckners used to rent. And so people are parking still in the handicap spots. They are parking below the Moreno tree up over the curb and in the no parking zone. So this is creating, I can't really put into words, but it really is an unsafe situation for walkers, for people with children, people that are coming there with dogs. The pickup is still an issue. And for many years, I'm here in New Canaan for 26 years, the camp staff never parked by the pavilion. And what has been happening for the past 2 or 3 years are the camp, I guess their staff members are parking along the pavilion and also near the Portasan. So that whole area is off limits to residents. What they used to do is park in the field, and the lifeguards used to park in that area closest to the nursery school. And I think, John, you know the area that I'm referencing. So there's
Not
been
really sure. Yeah, I'm not sure where you're talking about closest to the nursery school. There's that little small section right by the building.
Not the parking lot for the nursery school, but when you start to enter the park itself, it's a very shady area closest to the nursery school. All the lifeguards used to park there. The main parking lot were campers and residents, and the residents actually parked by the pavilion. So the spots that are opposite the Mary B cabin, those were used for or used by residents.
Betty, thank you. I just for 1 second, I want to ask John a question. John, the report on the camp and the Kiwanis Waikai camp has been forwarded to May. Should we be discussing these? And I think these are some very good observations, Betty. Very good. John, should we be discussing these at the May meeting?
Yes, it'd probably be best. Betty, if we could talk offline, I probably could have your questions answered before the meeting, and then we can just review them.
Yeah, I was going to suggest this, John, if I could. Several years ago, I had a copy of the lease agreement, and there are boundaries that the Y is, has to follow according to the lease. And we've had issues where the campers have violated that area. And the problem seems to be that when there are new staff members, they don't get a copy of the lease. So if we could work that out, and that they have an understanding about the parking, that would be very helpful.
And that makes
how about if we talk in the next few days, and I'll make sure that I have all your questions right and everything, and then I can find out all the answers before the May meeting.
That sounds good. And if you have a draft of the lease, I would love it. Yes.
Betty, at the May meeting, we'll also have, we'll have representatives here from the Y camp. And so it seems to me to make sense that we just wrap all of that up in one package at our May meeting. But I think it's a great idea that you and John are meeting. And, that'll probably make this whole process much more efficient. So,
Okay.
but thank you for bringing this to our attention. These are important concerns. Thank you.
Okay.
Is there anybody else who's on Zoom who wants to talk, Brian? Can you see?
That's it.
That's it?
Okay, then I will remove that we adjourn.
You remove. And Gene, do you remove? Okay,
Second.
so we're gonna remove this meeting and,
All in favor?
everybody in favor of adjourning?
Unanimous.
Yeah, yes.
Thanks, Jay.
Thank you so much. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you. Record to the cloud, Ryan.
Right, that's us. We don't need to address anything.